You are listening to the Southwestern American Choral Directors Association Connections podcast, where we will interview choral directors, leaders, and movers and shakers within our region. I'm your host, Dr. Jeff Wall. We hope you enjoy these conversations. Please like and subscribe this YouTube channel for future content. Today I have the pleasure to connect with Margie Camp. Margie is the Administrative Director and directs Treble Makers and First Voices for the Young Voices of Colorado. She is a master veteran educator, having taught public school for 30 years and retiring from Cherry Creek School District in 2004 after spending 15 years as choir director at Campus Middle School. She served in many capacities at ACDA National and with Southwestern ACDA as past president and as current treasurer. I won't read her full bio here, but I will post it into the description of this video. I encourage you to go and take a look at all of Margie's accomplishments. In this video, there will also be some starts and stops. We've had to splice a few things, had some interruptions in the video. Audio is not great. So I appreciate your patience as we try to work through some of these technical things and as we try to figure out how to do this in the best way. So enjoy my conversation here with Margie Camp.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
We're doing good. So you're our first guest for what we're calling Limitless Connections leading up to this conference. So congratulations. You're our first interview.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be included.
Yeah, so I think we were, and no slight to you, we were going to start with Jeff Murdoch, our president for Southwestern ACDA, but he is, let's shed a tear for him. He's in Italy right now with his choir, so we hope he's having a good time though. Yeah, we'll pick that up along the way as he comes back and gets back into the fold. So Margie, first tell us about your musical upbringing. What brought you into this choir world?
Well, I had a very special music teacher from third grade all the way through high school and actually my student teaching. Marianne Winden was my music teacher when I moved to San Antonio in third grade. And every time I changed schools, she changed schools. So we went through the whole thing together. And she was very, very influential and still is. After I finished at Trinity University with my Bachelor's of Music, I guess actually before I finished, I did my student teaching with her, and then took the middle school music job that fed into her choir at Roosevelt High School. So we had a very, very long relationship together. I still call her Mrs. Winden because what else am I supposed to call her? But she is very special and she got me started with just about everything musical.
That's so cool. Yeah, so thanks for giving us a little bit of background of how you came in. Tell everyone now what your role is with ACDA and maybe with Southwestern ACDA in particular.
Well, with ACDA, I have been, for the past couple of conferences, been the hospitality chair. And with Southwest ACDA, I have done a lot of things. I have been program chair for many conferences. I have been treasurer for many years, and I was Southwest ACDA President in 2012, that's conference. And I am currently treasurer and just kind of helping out plan lots of different things.
Well, we like to say that Margie has the institutional knowledge for Southwestern ACDA, and we couldn't work without you. So, okay, Margie, here's the hardest question of the whole interview. What is a piece of music that you think best embodies your personality?
Well, I think probably Paul Basler's Alleluia. I am very, very eclectic. I have all kinds of things going on and take knowledge from many, many different sources. And I feel like that piece shows off some of that compiling of many different styles together. There's lots, it's joyful, there's lots of variety, there's many, many contrasts. It's just so much fun to perform and to teach. It's energetic, and all of the times that I have done it, my kids have just loved it.
I love that piece too. I love the horn part.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular philosophy when you're programming for a choir?
You know, I count myself more as a music educator than a choir director. I feel like I'm a much better teacher than I am a director of choir. But my philosophy, because of that, is what are my students able to do before the concert? And what do I need to teach them to be successful in that concert? And how each of those concerts build on each other in their education of musical skills. Taking that in, that's the most important thing to me. Then I try to have some kind of a theme that I could combine all of those pieces, because sometimes I have to do a little stretch that, of course, that fits into this, because I really needed to teach a certain skill and needed to choose a certain piece to teach the kids that.
That's great. So then what does a typical rehearsal format maybe look for Margie or choirs under your direction as a choir teacher or choir leader?
So for 30 years, I've taught middle school, and now I'm teaching younger children with Young Voices of Colorado. And I find that both groups need consistency. So I pretty much keep to the same pattern of rehearsal every day. Now, the time spent on each little section of a rehearsal can change, but I find that especially in middle school, if I don't do sight reading every day, I wish I had, because the kids expect to do sight reading every day. And with middle school kids, if you change that up, it's going to cause a problem. Now, some days there might be 20 minutes of sight reading, and some days, because of a certain bell schedule or whatever, there might be 5. But I found that I need to do the same pattern every day, or they have a hard time handling it. But within that, I always do a welcome at the beginning, some kind of a relaxing and focusing exercise. I do breathing to help focus them and to get them concentrating. And then I usually spend a good portion of the rehearsal on musical skills, on rhythm reading, on sight reading. And I do them separate, because we probably realize choral singers need more help on rhythm than anything else. So we do rhythm, and then we do melodic sight reading, and then we put it all together. Of course, before that, I do warm-ups and things like that. And then we dive into the rehearsal of certain pieces. And then end up with something that's joyful, and so that they can leave and singing the piece on their way out and wanting to come back for the next rehearsal.
Sure. So this might tie into your last answer here, but what pointers might you have for emerging choir leaders?
I think surrounding yourself with people that you admire, that you would like to model your teaching after, and asking them questions, and going to their rehearsals and asking them to come to your rehearsals to give feedback as much as you possibly can. And then also, I think listening to as many choir performances as you possibly can, so that you can learn literature that's appropriate for that age, so that you can learn the choral tone that's appropriate for that age. Just listening. Going to conferences, sitting in on other people's rehearsals as much as you can, and learning as much as you can, and then not being afraid to try it.
Yeah, that's an excellent answer. Yeah, I would second that too. Awesome answer. But what does Margie Camp do to relax or to fight burnout?
Good question. I really like to work. And for me, doing spreadsheets and all of those kinds of administration work is actually relaxing to me. But I also do needlepoint and I knit, especially when I'm waiting for the computer to regenerate something. I don't like to just sit and stare at the computer. So I pull out my needlepoint and put in some stitches.
That's awesome. I don't know if I knew that about you, but that's a great time passer, right? Pastime, I guess, is the right word for that. Okay, so now we're to the Accelerando round, as I'm calling it. That's kind of a cheesy name. We may have to come up with something different with that. So if anybody out there has some different ideas, just comment below into this video and give me some ideas. But for now, we'll call it the Accelerando round. Some really quick questions. The first thing that comes to mind, some things are related to choir, some things are not at all related to choir. So here we go. What's the worst job that you've ever had?
Scraping fig Newtons off of the gym floor after a student council dance.
Oh, disgusting. That's a good one. If you had to do any other job besides being a choir director or choir leader, what would that be?
I've wanted to be a choir director since 3rd grade. So I haven't even thought of doing other things. I guess being in a support role of some kind to help others succeed and be the best that they can.
Be a great professional and life coach, right?
Try that. Yep.
Yeah. What is your favorite bad food to eat?
Favorite bad macaroni and cheese.
Ooh, good one. Macaroni and cheese. I like that. And we know Margie's favorite drink is always Diet Coke. She pulled it up there. She's got a Diet Coke in her hand. Awesome. What was the scariest moment in your life? Or you can choose here. What is your biggest phobia?
I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had too many scares. I can't think of anything. I've had a blessed life.
Good answer. That's great. If you could have anyone on the choral Mount Rushmore, who would it be?
Lynn Gackle.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You have any more to fill out the rest of the
Oh,
people?
I forgot there were multiple
There's
people.
4, right? There's 4.
Betsy Cook Weber. If I can't think of his last name, Eviley. And Rodney Eichenberger.
I love it. Didn't mean to trump you there.
Hmm.
What is something that you spend way too much money on?
Computer stuff.
I get that. Me too. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To be able to continue working until very old age.
The old immortality superpower. I love it. Great. All right. Well, that's it for the Accelerando round. Congratulations. You got the final tempo presto. That's so bad. We're going to have to figure something else out.
I was wondering if there was awards, points for how many questions you got within a certain time.
Yeah, we'll have to make it a point system. Okay, Margie, so you finished the Accelerando round. Now, let's get back into some choir questions here. What is, or who is another choral musician that you might like to lift up?
I would like to lift up all the former Southwest ACDA presidents. Many of them have worked many more years than their 2 years of elective office, volunteering to do other activities to make Southwest ACDA the best region in the country. And a lot of people may not know how hard it is to be the president, because there's so many things that you have to think about, and everybody wants to be the best and to support the people in the region to the best of their ability. and also not just be the same old, wanting to continue to have it grow and to have new ideas and to bring in other people into the fold and make it an exciting region and support facility for the membership. I've been blessed to be able to work with, should have counted up how many, 15, maybe 20 different presidents over the time that I've been a member. And every year is different and every person is different. And I have a wonderful time working with each of them.
Great answer. Yeah, that's why we say that Ms. Margie has all of the institutional knowledge and knows all the people, knows all the folks. Well, okay, so what are your goals for the upcoming year? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I have announced that I'm retiring from Young Voices of Colorado. I taught middle school for 30 years and have worked with Young Voices for 18 years. I've taught at Metro State University of Denver for 15 years while I was doing the other things, not on top of that would put me too old. But my son is a musicologist in New Zealand, and he gets to be on sabbatical this next semester. And so we've got lots of planned trips. He's going to come home for a little while and we're going to do some trips, and then we're going to go to Europe, and I'll probably go to New Zealand for a little bit. So that's the most pressing new things in my life, but I still continue to work with Colorado music educators and Southwest ACDA and ACDA, and I look forward to continuing those experiences.
Yeah, I have a feeling that retirement's not going to look like typical retirement for Margie Camp. I think you're going to stay busy.
I think so. I'm not somebody that sits around and reads, although I do have some new books to read.
Awesome. Okay, so we're wrapping up here. We're getting to the end of our interview. So is there any place that folks can reach out and find Margie Camp or connect with you or communicate with you? You have any social media you want to plug or an email address you want to share or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll share my email because, you know, I'm kind of older. And so email is the best thing. It's margiecamp@comcast.net.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Margie, and for telling us a little bit more about you. Is there anything that we didn't cover today that you'd like to cover?
Not that I can think of. You had good questions.
Okay, great.
Hopefully I supplied some good answers.
Of course, yeah, you did. And you being the first interview, thank you for being so easy to work with and easy to interview. Puts my nerves at ease too. And we'll continue these conversations. And I think it was a great first interview. So thanks for joining us, Margie.
Thank you. I can't wait to see all the rest.